Write an engaging and emotional story based on the title. They set up the single dad as a joke on a blind date with an obese girl, but his words, "Begin the story with hook who joints the viewers at the end," immediately capture attention. Also motive viewers to like video and subscribe the channel. Develop the plot with emotional depth and relatable characters, including key challenges and their resolutions. Ensure the story maintains a smooth pace suitable for an 400-minute YouTube video, leaving a strong, inspiring message by the end. Plain paragraphs but long story as you can based on 3,000-word estimate. In the dim glow of a bustling Italian restaurant, where laughter echoed like distant thunder and the scent of garlic bread hung heavy in the air, Mark Thompson sat alone at a corner table, fiddling with his napkin. He was a single dad, 38 years old, with calloused hands from years of construction work and a heart scarred by loss. Little did he know, this blind date, arranged by his so-called friends, was meant to be a cruel joke. They had paired him with Sarah, a woman they deemed unworthy because of her size, her curves that society labeled as flaws. But as she walked in, nervous and radiant in a simple blue dress, Mark's first words weren't of pity or rejection. They were something that would change everything. "You have the kindest eyes I've ever seen. They remind me of my daughters, full of stories waiting to be told." And in that moment, the joke crumbled, replaced by a connection that would heal two broken souls. But hold on, folks, if this story tugs at your heartstrings like it did mine, smash that like button right now and hit subscribe for more tales of unexpected love and redemption. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Mark's life hadn't always been this way. 5 years ago, he was happily married to Emily, the love of his high school days. They had built a cozy home in the suburbs of Chicago, complete with a swing set in the backyard for their daughter, Lily, who was now 7. Emily was the glue that held everything together, vibrant, funny, always planning family adventures. But cancer doesn't care about plans. It struck fast and furious, turning their world into a whirlwind of hospital visits, chemotherapy, and whispered prayers. Mark watched helplessly as Emily faded, her once bright smile dimming until it was gone forever. In the aftermath, he threw himself into fatherhood, working double shifts to keep the roof over their heads while navigating Lily's grief alongside his own. Dating? It wasn't even on his radar. "I'm done with that," he'd tell his buddies at the construction site. "Lily's all I need." But his friends, guys like Jake and Tom, who meant well but often crossed lines with their bro humor, saw it differently. They worried about him, or so they claimed. "Man, you need to get back out there," Jake would say over beers after work. "You're turning into a hermit." One night, after too many rounds, they hatched their plan. They knew Sarah from the office, a talented graphic designer, sharp-witted and kind, but overweight in a world that prized thinness above all. To them, setting Mark up with her was hilarious, a prank to loosen him up. "He'll laugh it off," Tom chuckled as they signed him up on a dating app under false pretenses. They described Sarah vaguely, hyping her personality while omitting details that might scare him off. Mark, reluctant but tired of their nagging, agreed to the blind date. "Fine, one dinner. But if it's weird, I'm out." Sarah Jenkins, 35, carried her own burdens. Growing up in a small town in Indiana, she had always been the big girl, teased in school, overlooked in social circles. Her weight was a shield, she told herself, built from years of emotional eating after her parents' messy divorce. But beneath it all, Sarah was a force, an artist whose designs had won awards, a volunteer at local animal shelters, and a woman with a laugh that could light up a room. Dating had been a minefield for her. Men who ghosted after seeing photos, or worse, those who fetishized her body. When Jake approached her about the blind date, spinning tales of a great guy who's been through hell, she hesitated. "Why me?" she asked, suspicion creeping in. But loneliness won out. "What's the worst that can happen?" she thought, slipping into her favorite dress that hugged her curves just right. The restaurant was alive with the clink of glasses and murmurs of conversation when Sarah arrived. Mark spotted her first, guided by the host, and stood up with a polite smile. His friends, hiding at the bar across the street, watched through the window, stifling giggles. "This is gold," Jake whispered, phone ready to capture the awkward moment. But as Sarah approached, Mark's expression softened. She was beautiful in a real way, her dark hair cascading in waves, her smile tentative but genuine. "Hi, I'm Sarah," she said, extending a hand. Mark took it gently. "Mark. It's great to meet you." They sat, and the small talk began: weather, traffic, the menu. Sarah braced for the inevitable, the polite excuses, the quick exit. It had happened before. Instead, Mark leaned in. "So, tell me about yourself. What do you do?" Sarah blinked, surprised by his sincerity. She talked about her design work, how she loved turning ideas into visuals that told stories. Mark nodded, genuinely interested. "That sounds amazing. I'm in construction, building things with my hands. But stories? My daughter Lily is all about them. She's got this imagination that could fill a library." Sarah's eyes lit up. "A daughter? How old?" As Mark shared about Lily, her love for drawing unicorns, her bedtime rituals, Sarah felt a warmth she hadn't expected. But then came the lull, the moment where past dates had soured. She shifted, self-conscious about her size in the booth. Mark noticed, but not in the way she feared. "You okay?" he asked softly. Sarah forced a laugh. "Yeah, just. I know this might not be what you expected. If you want to call it a night, I get it." Her voice cracked slightly, years of rejection bubbling up. Mark paused, setting down his fork. And then he said those words, the ones that shattered the joke his friends had intended. "Sarah, you have the kindest eyes I've ever seen. They remind me of my daughters, full of stories waiting to be told. And honestly, this is exactly what I needed tonight. Someone real, not some polished facade." Tears welled in Sarah's eyes. No one had ever said that to her. Not like this. From the bar, Jake and Tom exchanged glances. "Wait, he's not bailing?" Tom muttered. They watched as the conversation deepened. Mark opened up about Emily's death, the emptiness it left. "I feel like I'm failing Lily sometimes. She's so strong, but I see the sadness in her." Sarah shared her own scars, the bullying, the failed relationships. "People see my body first, not me." Mark shook his head. "That's their loss. Because from where I'm sitting, you're incredible." By dessert, they were laughing, real, belly-deep laughs. His friends slunk away, their prank backfiring spectacularly. But this was just the beginning. As the weeks turned into months, Mark and Sarah's connection grew. Their second date was at a park, where Sarah met Lily. The little girl, with her wide eyes and gap-toothed grin, took to Sarah immediately. "You draw? Can you teach me?" Lily begged. Sarah, beaming, pulled out sketch pads. Watching them, Mark felt a stir in his heart, a mix of joy and guilt. Was he betraying Emily? That night, alone, he visited her grave. "I miss you every day," he whispered. "But Lily needs more than just me. And Sarah, she's good for us." It was a challenge he hadn't anticipated, navigating grief while opening up to new love. Sarah faced her own hurdles. Her friends warned her, "He's a single dad, baggage." And self-doubt crept in. At a family gathering, her aunt's snide comment, "He's with you? Must be desperate," cut deep. Sarah confronted Mark that evening, tears streaming. "What if they're right? What if this is pity?" Mark pulled her close. "Pity? Sarah, I see you. All of you. Your strength, your heart. That's what I love." It was the first time he said love, and it hung in the air like a promise. They worked through it, therapy sessions, honest talks. Mark encouraged Sarah to join a support group for body positivity, where she found empowerment. In turn, she helped him with Lily's school projects, bringing creativity into their routine. Challenges mounted. Mark's job hit a rough patch, a project delay meant financial strain. Bills piled up, and he snapped at Sarah one night, exhausted. "I can't do this right now." Hurt, she left, wondering if it was over. But the next day, he showed up at her door with flowers and an apology. "I'm scared of losing again. But I don't want to lose you." They resolved to communicate better, building a foundation stronger than before. Lily became the bridge. One evening, as Sarah tucked her in, Lily whispered, "Are you gonna be my new mommy?" Sarah's heart swelled. "I'd love to be part of your family, sweetie." Mark, overhearing, proposed months later on that same park bench. "Sarah, you've shown me that love isn't about perfection. It's about seeing each other truly." Their wedding was simple, friends, including a sheepish Jake and Tom, who apologized profusely, family, and Lily as flower girl. Years passed. Mark and Sarah built a life together, adopting a dog, traveling, supporting each other's dreams. Sarah's designs went viral, leading to her own studio. Mark advanced in his career, but more importantly, they healed. Lily grew into a confident teen, crediting her two moms, Emily in spirit, Sarah in presence. Looking back, that blind date wasn't a joke. It was fate's twist. Mark's words that night reminded us all, true connection sees beyond the surface. In a world quick to judge, kindness can rewrite stories. So, if this tale moved you, about redemption, love, and second chances, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Share your own stories in the comments. Who knows? Your words might change someone's life too. But wait, there's more to this story than meets the eye. Let's dive deeper into the emotional layers that made their journey so profound. After that fateful first date, Mark couldn't shake the feeling that Sarah was different. He called her the next day, not out of obligation, but because her laughter echoed in his mind. "I had a great time," he said. "Want to grab coffee?" Sarah, still wary, agreed. Over lattes, they peeled back more layers. Mark shared photos of Emily, her radiant smile, their wedding day. "She was my everything," he admitted, voice thick. Sarah listened, not judging, but empathizing. "I've lost too, my confidence, pieces of myself to cruel words." Their vulnerabilities bonded them, turning strangers into confidants. One key challenge came early, introducing Sarah to Lily. Mark agonized over it. What if she rejects her, he confided to his sister. But Lily, with a child's innocence, saw Sarah's warmth. They bonded over art, Sarah teaching her to blend colors into rainbows. "You're like a fairy godmother," Lily said. Yet, jealousy flickered, Lily's questions about why mommy left resurfaced. Sarah handled it gently, "Your mommy loved you so much she's watching over you now." It was a resolution born of patience, helping Lily process her grief. Financial woes tested them further. When Mark's company downsized, he hid his stress, working odd jobs. Sarah noticed his fatigue. "We're in this together," she insisted, using her savings to bridge the gap. Mark resisted at first, pride stung, but learned to accept help. "You've taught me strength isn't solo," he said. Their resolution? A budget plan and side gigs. Sarah freelanced more, Mark took online courses for better opportunities. Body image remained Sarah's dragon. A beach trip exposed it, stares from strangers. "I feel exposed," she confessed. Mark's response? "You're beautiful to me. Let's make memories." He surprised her with a photo shoot, celebrating her curves. It boosted her confidence, leading to her advocating for plus-size representation in design. Social circles posed hurdles too. Mark's friends, post-prank, were awkward. Jake apologized, "We were idiots." Mark forgave, but set boundaries. Sarah's family warmed slowly, her aunt eventually admitting, "I was wrong, he adores you." Resolutions came through forgiveness and growth. As their family expanded, adopting a sibling for Lily, their love deepened. Challenges like parenting teens arose, but they faced them united. Mark's words from that first night became their mantra, "Kind eyes see stories." It inspired Lily to write a school essay on empathy, winning awards. In the end, their story isn't just romance, it's about rewriting narratives. Society's jokes can wound, but words of kindness heal. Mark and Sarah prove that love sees the soul. If you're inspired, like, subscribe, and share, because everyone deserves a story like this. Expanding further, let's explore the pivotal moments that added emotional depth. After the proposal, wedding planning brought flashbacks for Mark. Choosing flowers reminded him of Emily's favorites. Sarah noticed his distance. "Talk to me," she urged. In a tearful conversation, he shared, "I feel like I'm replacing her." Sarah held him. "You're honoring her by living." They included Emily's photo at the altar, a resolution blending past and present. Post-wedding, they honeymooned in Italy, recreating that first date's ambience. But jet lag and a minor argument over directions tested them. "We're not perfect," Sarah laughed later. They're packed, weekly date nights to keep the spark. Lily's teenage years brought rebellion, arguments over curfews. Sarah mediated, drawing from her own youth. "I get feeling unseen," she told Lily. Resolution, family therapy, strengthening bonds. Career highs and lows added layers. Sarah's studio thrived, but imposter syndrome hit. Mark's encouragement, "Your talent shines." When he got promoted, she celebrated him equally. Community involvement deepened their impact. They volunteered at grief support groups, sharing their story. "His words changed my life," Sarah would say. Inspiring others became their legacy. A health scare for Sarah, high blood pressure, prompted lifestyle changes. Mark joined her in workouts, turning it into bonding time. "Together, we're unstoppable," he said. As grandparents eventually, they reflected, that joke date birthed a beautiful life. The message? Look beyond appearances, speak kindness. It transforms. If this epic tale of triumph over adversity resonates, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support fuels more stories like this. What's your takeaway? Comment below. To flesh out even more, consider the subtle emotional nuances. Mark's nightly rituals, reading Emily's old letters. Eased with Sarah's presence. She never erased the past, she enhanced it. Sarah's art evolved, incorporating themes of body love and family. One Piece, Kind Eyes, depicted their first meeting, sold out at galleries. Lily's wedding years later echoed theirs, with Mark walking her down the aisle, Sarah beaming. "You gave me two parents," Lily toasted. Their story went viral when Lily shared it online, a reminder that pranks can pivot to profound. Inspiring message. In a divided world, choose words that build bridges. Love wins when we see hearts first. Hit like, subscribe, let's spread positivity.